How you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Good trip to Germany?
Yeah, nah. It was a great trip. I don't think a lot of people know how many fans that we have in Germany, but it was great to go to Dusseldorf and for a great cause and everything for just a situation of flag football overseas for sure.
How are the voluntary workouts going so far?
Yeah, they're going great. It's a great thing to end up seeing everyone back in the building. Talking about what everyone did, in their off season and stuff. But now we're back and taking it one day at a time.
We can ask you about Stefan Diggs, just having competed against him. What makes him a tough cover? And what is your thoughts on having him as part of it?
Um, he's been in the league for a little minute, and he has one of those unique traits. Whenever it comes down to, he's very strong as a receiver. He's not the crazy size that people always think, but just having him on the team is great to have as well.
Marcus, you've been through a couple of iterations of different coaching staffs now with the Patriots. What are your first impressions in working with this current staff in the building?
Yeah, I actually met Mike Vrabel during the pre-draft process whenever he was at Tennessee. He's a great guy whenever I met him back then, and I'm happy to be back in the building. And he brings that incitement, and then also he's one of those guys to where whenever we are doing something, he likes to be hands-on. So just having that in the building and this, the excitement, having the music playing and everything like that in the hallways is great to be around.
Hands-on, is he like spotting weights for you guys?
No, I ain't saying that, but I know whenever we get out there on the football field, he'll probably be grabbing a bag, helping the D lineman, helping us, and everything like that too, as DB.
So pre-draft, did you take a 30 there, meet him at the combine? What were those conversations like?
Yeah, I took a pre-draft visit and basically just getting to know him as a person and everything. And whenever I did talk to him, I was like, it was great to end up talking to him, and then it was like normal conversations and everything. So.
Marcus, how do you feel about the comps to Travis Hunter or Travis Hunter's comps to you?
I definitely understand the situation of playing both sides, but his level of how he was doing it and everything like that was definitely different from mine. But I hope the best for him. Just being able to do it in the league is definitely hard to do. But I hope that he, takes advantage of the opportunity for sure.
This year, do you hope to play both sides again?
Um, Same question every single time. I mean, if it happens, it happens. But my main thing is to, learn the new defense and then kind of go from there. So.
Do you think it's possible to play both sides on a full-time basis like he wants to do?
I feel like it's one of those situations to where whenever people were first saying, you can't really play both sides in general in the league, and then I get here and then eventually, I start playing. But playing both sides, I'm not gonna say you can't do it, but it's a very long season.
Marcus mentioned learning the new defense. Has that process started already?
Oh yeah, for sure. We actually started installing and everything like that today. I feel as though we're taking it one day at a time, so we're not. It's not one of those situations to where they're throwing all the playbook at you at one time. But we're taking it day by day.
What have you seen so far? How different is it from the past defenses you've played under?
The main thing that I would say is the terminology. I feel as though everyone has a certain way to where how they love to install, but the main thing that we have to learn is the different verbiage and the terminology. So just learning that.
Hey Marcus, as often as you go through change in the NFL, this offseason not only the coaching staff, but really significant changes in the locker room, especially on defense. But what's the feeling when you walk in there and you don't see some of the guys who've been leaders on that defense there anymore, and you're getting to know other guys will be in that position this year for free agency?
Yeah, in this league, I mean, change happens 24/7. And due to that, we all do respect, all the guys that ended up coming through the locker room before. But it's a new year, and we're happy for the guys that are going to be captains and guys that's going to, pave the way for us for the future.
How about in your case now, you're in a position now where you have enough experience in this organization to qualify as one of the most tenured Patriots on this side. What does it mean to you? Does that change things for you?
Yeah, the main thing that I would say of how it changes for me is I'm always a lead by example type of guy. But then the challenge is also like I'm not crazy vocal whenever it comes down to it. But now I need to start, being a little bit more vocal and just kind of going from there.
Marcus, I'm curious just what you see from Terrell Williams, being better in the system, and Josh obviously he has a passing game, and Terrell's completely new here. What have you seen from him, and just what's it been important to him so far?
We actually met and everything whenever I did come in a little earlier in February. Great guy, passionate guy. You could tell that he loves the game of football, and just happy to be in the building and end up teaching us the things that we need to learn.
Marcus, you played Josh McDaniels, I believe, your rookie season. What do you remember about the preparation process, getting ready for his offense?
Oh, Josh, he's top of the top. Whenever we did play Vegas, it was a lot of different formations. You never knew what they would kind of do in certain situations, but it was just one of those situations to where you definitely have to lock in, watch a lot of film, and kind of go from there. So he has some tricks in the bag for sure whenever we played him. So just it's crazy.
Marcus, you mentioned being here in February. How much have you been in and out of the facility, and what are you trying to get done when you're here?
First off, I took advantage of my off season. That was the first thing. Was able to spend time with family. That was the main thing, and then I actually just came back. So.
What do you envision it to be like to play for Mike Vrabel coach team?
The main thing is not looking too far into the future. We're happy to be back, but some people, they're like, oh man, the season's coming. But it's way more things we have to do. Like I said, install. We got OTAs, then we got training camp, and kind of going from there. So the excitement is that we're in the room and we're in the building, and then also, like I said, just taking it one day at a time. That's the main thing I'm focused on.
Does he hammer that point home?
Oh, for sure. Don't get overwhelmed, basically, and just basically tell us, we're going to take it slow and kind of go from there.
Marcus, aside from the new terminology, conceptually, anything strike you about this defense? Like, how would you describe it?
We just started, so it's still early. I feel as though as time go on that I can kind of answer that question, but it's still early.
You mentioned just playing on the always does Vrabel have good taste in music? I don't know,
Yeah, no, he does. He hits a lot of genres, so yeah.
How did you satisfy your interests in music in the offseason now when you have more time to do it?
Yeah, music has always been, a thing that I've loved. Being able to end up going to Germany was kind of crazy. And then also what I did was I came into the building and everything and met some kids out there in Germany. And it was kind of crazy because they ended up making a song for me. And then I'm also going to be recording to the song as well. So hopefully, that does something to where the creative process, I'm trying to build with that and just kind of go from there.
How's the music different in Germany?
I feel as though the genre. First off, the language. Let's start there, guys. So let's definitely start there. But honestly, I don't feel as though it's any difference because they have the same genres over there as well. So that was the main thing, the language for sure.
You have spent any time with Carlton Davis so far, and what have been your first impressions of them?
No, I haven't, not yet.
You doing all right after last night, Marcus?
Oh yeah. I'm good. First off, guys, that's what I wanted to open the floor to. If you guys don't know, University of Houston is my guys, and we had a great season and everything. And, I hate for it to come to the end like that, but we fought hard and everything. So it's forever going to be Go Cougs. So.
How's it going?
Going great. How about yourself?
All right. How's the first 2 days of off-season workouts going?
It's going great. Getting to know the guys, grinding, competing. It's been great.
What's it been like kind of reacclimating yourself to the area and just getting used to it?
It's been a little crazy. I mean, it's been raining here a lot lately, but but nah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Like, I don't mind the weather, and neither does my family. So I'm honestly excited for my kids to get up here and to actually be able to experience a real winter. I know they're excited about that, and I can't wait to get this thing going.
Being a BC guy, how much have you followed the program? Since you've been drafted, obviously it's been years now, but how much did you follow the program, and have you been back to campus, or will you be back to campus?
Yeah, I'll follow them each season. Me and my wife, because she came up with me this weekend to look at houses and whatnot, and we drove through the campus, and it's just crazy how beautiful and how far it's come since I was there. The football facilities, all of it, like, it's just crazy. I'd imagine that it costs a little more to go there now, but no, it's definitely a beautiful campus, and I can't wait to get back on campus and be around that football team as well.
How much are you looking forward to playing for Mike Vrabel, and what did he mean to you in your early part of your career?
He's meant a lot. He's played a big role in my development as a player, and also as a person. And I was excited to come back because like he knows my skill set, he knows how I operate, and I think throughout my career, he and his staff have done a great job of putting me in positions to go out and be productive and help the team, and that's what I'm looking forward to. And that was one of the main reasons why I came here, because I knew Braves and his staff knew me. The familiarity with the scheme and all of it, it just fits, what I do in my skill set.
Marcus
Can
Jones
you
was
walk
just telling
us
us
through?
about.
Can you walk us through that process of when you got released and deciding where you were going to play next? Like, did you know immediately that you wanted to reach out to Mike and like set this up, or how did that go?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely that was definitely kind of the case. Like once I saw how things were going and the writing was on the wall, this was definitely a place that I wanted to be. I was getting excited about the staff he was putting together, and I just feel like this was the right place for me, and I'm excited to be here.
Marcus Jones was just telling us about his initial impressions of a Mike Vrabel offseason program. Music played in the hallways. What else can your new teammates expect, having been through several programs with Mike at this time of the year?
Just like upbeat. He wants everybody to be excited when they come to work. He's big on that. He's big on energy. And yeah, that's just who he is. He's, everybody looks at him as his head coach, but he's really just one of the boys, a locker room guy, and I really mean that. He wants to get to know you, know about your family and everything that goes along with being in a relationship with you. And that's pretty much, he's the same guy every day too. Very consistent person. He's not going to switch it up on you at all. And that's what you can expect. And he's big on treating you how you treat the team. You treat the team with respect. He's got nothing but respect for you.
As Marcus, I got to ask you the same question. What do you think of Vrabel's music taste?
I mean, it's all right. It's not something that I'd vibe to every day, but it gets the juices going, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, whatever floats his boat, you know what I'm saying?
Harold, you've mentioned the staff. Terrell Williams as the DC. What are your impressions of working with him, and as a staff, overall, the cohesiveness they had in Tennessee? What are your impressions of the way they work together?
Yeah, no, I feel like they work together as far as, I feel like when they're like putting together a game plan or, trying to figure out, who belongs where, I feel like they do a great job of when I say working together, it's like, I don't know, they do a great job of figuring out who they have on the roster on that side of the ball, what are their skill sets, and putting them in position to be successful. I feel like that's what they've done with me, and that's what they've done with a lot of great players in Tennessee, and what I expect them to do here. I feel like we have a very talented roster, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and I'm excited of the pieces and where they're going to place people, and what they're going to do with all of us. But they're definitely a tight-knit group, and I like that. You can expect them to, because throughout the season, stuff's going to happen, you know what I'm saying? And it's nice to know that this staff is going to stay in the foxhole, stick together, and they're going to find a way to come out and find a way to be successful.
Kind of along those lines, you've been a part of it when it's cranking and going really well. How would you describe or best describe a Mike Vrabel defense working on all cylinders, and what's that like to watch?
No, I mean, it's amazing. Because like I said, they do a great job of identifying player skill sets and putting them out there in positions to succeed. And I think the biggest thing that obviously we're going to pride ourselves on is playing hard, playing fast. He really values effort and finish, especially on the defensive side of the ball. You want to see as many hats as you can in the picture at the end of the play around the ball. And I think as long as we maintain our style of play that they're trying to implement here, even if you might not have fit up a run gap perfectly or didn't play with the greatest technique, that style of play is what's going to result in wins. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about going out there and playing perfect because your boy in the back end or the guy next to you is going to have your back and make up for it, with his effort and his style of play.
Harold, you're used in so many different ways in Tennessee, but here specifically, pass rush has been a pretty big issue. So how would you describe yourself as a defender and even more specifically as a pass rusher?
Yeah, no, I pride myself on being versatile and productive. I want to be a guy that, like you said, they can move me around, but also they can just keep me on the edge, and I can win a one-on-one, and I can go and be productive. But I want to be that Swiss Army knife, as some say, or whatever the case may be. But I pride myself on being productive, versatile, and consistent. I try to be as consistent as I can be each week, whether that's preparation, nutrition, whatever the case may be. I try to be the same person every day, and I think that leads to my best results. But yeah, I just want to be that versatile guy that they can move around and go out and make plays for the team.
Harold, when you were in Tennessee with Mike for those 6 years, you guys won more games as underdogs than basically every team in the league. What were you guys doing differently than the 31 other teams to be able to win that many games when you weren't expected to win?
Honestly, I think it was mainly just because we were such a close-knit group, and like we really valued each other and we played hard for each other. We didn't want to let each other down, and I think that showed on the film and on the tape. But also, I feel like one of the main jobs for a head coach is to make sure your team's prepared situationally. And all I know is as long as I played for Braves, there was never a situation I wasn't prepared for. Like, I don't care what the score was in the fourth quarter. I don't know. We just always had a feeling that we was going to pull this out. It didn't matter what the score was going into the fourth. And we just always found a way to win. It's crazy. We just found a way to win. And that was just kind of the mentality. We just didn't think we could lose, to be honest, no matter what was going on in the game.
You mentioned the weather, but what else do you remember about being in Boston, and were there any spots in particular that you liked?
What do I remember? That was a while ago. I mean, this is where I met my wife. So that's a big us. My best friend is who I met here. Best spots that I used to eat at? I don't know if this place is still in business, but they used to have this space that was right down the street from BC where it was like 25-cent wings or something like that. Or Fugaku, that's around BC. That used to be a place that we used to go to. Is Top of the Hub still here?
No.
It's not here no more?
Close.
See, I got to get out and explore, but it's just me right now. Family's back in Tennessee, but yeah, I don't really. It's been a long time, but no, I'm definitely excited to be here. I know my family is juiced up to come here. A new experience for all of us, really. And yeah, I think we're just all excited, ready to get to it. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Harold.